And joining us now is the Comptroller of the State, Sean Scanlon. Comptroller Scanlon, great to see you here in the program.
It's good to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about what is the financial status of the state, this financial situation, in your judgment?
5 years ago, 10 years ago, Connecticut was in the midst of a permanent fiscal crisis. And thanks to a lot of hard work and bipartisan work, we've gotten out of that crisis. And we now have had 6 consecutive years of budget surpluses. We've paid down almost $9 billion of pension debt, and we've got a $4 billion rainy day fund saved up.
What does the future hold for the next year? I know the governor's going to be talking about the budget in the upcoming session. What kind of advice do you have for him?
Well, we continue to see that fiscal progress going in the right direction. We continue to project that there's a surplus. What I think we're going to have a conversation about next year is, can we perhaps find a balance between meeting the needs of today and paying down that legacy debt and saving for those rainy days? I think we're already finding a good balance, but I think that we can continue to work to find a better one.
There's some lawmakers who say we might be in for some tough financial times in the next year. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think it's impossible to know really where we're going, and I think what happens at the national level and with the stock market will dictate that. What I do know, Dennis, though, is that for the first time ever, we've got that rainy day fund, and all the investors and Wall Street rating agencies look at the fact that we have a $4 billion rainy day fund and say that we are prepared for recession. Last time we weren't prepared, and we spent a decade cutting and raising taxes. We don't want to do that again.
Do you have any thoughts as to how a new Trump administration will impact Connecticut financially?
Well, look, I mean, I think we're really a couple days into this, right? So it's impossible to tell. My office follows this very closely. He has talked a lot about reinstating that tax cut that he did a few years ago, and there were implications for us because of that state and local tax deduction. That's part of it. We're going to watch that closely, but at this point, I think it's too early to say.
I want to talk about some of the projects you're working on. MyCT Savings. Tell me about this and where it stands.
Listen, half of the workers in Connecticut don't get offered a retirement plan by their job, and it's mostly not because the employer doesn't want to, it's because the employer can't afford to. My mom was a small business owner. She could never afford to do it, but always wanted to. MyCT Savings, a program that my office runs, allows all small businesses with 5 or more employees in Connecticut to offer their employees a retirement plan at no cost to the business. So far, we've put 30,000 employees on it, 6,700 companies, and we're helping those employees save for retirement for the first time.
So no cost to the business, but where's the money come from?
The money comes from the investment fees that the employee pays on whatever they decide to put away. There's modest fees for each of the investments that we do, but it's really giving people a tool to begin saving for the first time.
I want to ask you about the prescription drug discount card.
Yeah.
And how's that working out so far?
It's working out great. So ArrayRx is the first state drug discount card. People can go to ArrayRxCard.com right now, sign up, get this free prescription drug discount card, and use it to save on the cost of their drugs at 98% of the pharmacies in Connecticut. Obviously, everybody knows that the price of drugs is increasing to the point of unsustainability for a lot of folks in our state. This card will not end that problem, but will make your drugs more affordable at the pharmacy, and we're just trying to spread the word about that.
There was some news this week about some of the flooding situations in the north end of Hartford, which is one of the Connecticut's poorest neighborhoods, and we've been up there, and I've been in that neighborhood, and it does seem like some of the people who live there aren't getting the help that they need. What role is the Comptroller's office playing in this?
One unexpected one, because when I ran for Comptroller, I never thought that I'd be running a flood program in Hartford, but our office was given this responsibility last year in 2023, and to date, we have put $6 million of compensation into the community in Hartford. 600 applicants have come through. 450 people and businesses and churches have gotten money so far. We have a deadline coming up of December 2nd where folks need to apply because of the rules around federal money. But we're confident that we've been able to meet the needs in that community, and we're going to continue doing what we can to spread the word and get as many folks helped before the end of the year.
So in Connecticut politics, one election season runs into the next, and of course we have that here in this program. One's over, but one's already beginning, and that would be the governor's race in 2026. Do you believe that the governor and Lieutenant Governor Bysiewicz should run for re-election in 2026?
I do. I think the governor has done a really good job. I have enjoyed working with him a lot on a lot of policy issues, and I think he has sort of found that good niche where he is both the fiscal watchdog, but also making a lot of really important investments that we have made in the state, and I do hope he thinks about running again.
Do you think that Trump being elected will perhaps persuade him to, yes, stay in to fight for Connecticut? Or do you think it's maybe time, well, I'm going to do something else?
I think the governor really cares about the state, and I think he really likes the job of being governor, not because he's in it for the pay or he's in it for the power. He's in it because he wants to do good things for the state.
If he decides not to run for a third term, is that something you would be interested in?
It is. You know, I like to get stuff done. I ran for office at a very young age to get stuff done, and I get stuff done with him all the time, and I've seen the power of that office to truly get stuff done every day. Unlike in Washington, where all they do is fight all day long, and it doesn't seem that appealing, governors can move the needle and really help folks in Connecticut, and I would definitely look at that situation.
So if he doesn't run, you're in, or are you going to just look at it?
No, I think it's way too early to say that. First of all, I hope he runs. Second of all, when he makes a decision, I certainly would have to talk to my family and look at that situation. But at some point, whether it's now or in the future, I'd love to consider running for governor, and we'll see what happens.
What's your advice to some of the mayors across the state who are concerned about Donald Trump being president again? We had Justin Elliger on here last week, and other mayors in the state have said that they're concerned about, deportations, things like that. What's your advice to them?
Listen, I said the day after the election, standing next to the governor, that we're going to do everything we can to protect Connecticut values, but we're also going to try to work with the administration where we can. That's our job. The mayors are concerned, people are concerned, people I know and my friends are concerned because of some of the rhetoric that the president used and the things that he did during his first 4 years in office. I think we have to take this one day at a time, work with him where we can, but when he challenges the things that are important to Connecticut, we need to stand up and protect those values, and we will.
Sean Scanlon, the comptroller of our state of Connecticut, we appreciate you being on the program today. Best of luck.
Thanks, Dennis.
A healthcare report card after this timeout.